Everyone is being held back now. Violent Panda puts it straight out. It's going to be over to Kano. It's almost in. Follow. Scored.
Dignitas have been a powerhouse in the UK for as long as I can remember.
If you were a British kid back in the day who wanted to go pro, there was one jersey you wanted on your shoulders. Dignitas.
ODEE did a great job of moulding Dignitas to become the organisation that it became.
So I grew up on a council estate in Tadworth, which is just outside Epsom. So I used to be pretty good at football, and I played for my local team here. I was the star striker, and when I played football, all I wanted to do was win. When I played video games, when I used to go to the social club, Tuesday Club it was called, play Missile Command and Space Invaders, it was me that always got the high scores. So 1999, that year, basically I snapped my knee playing football. During that time, I was just on the internet looking around and I found a story about Fatality and the fact that he was in tournaments playing Quake. I thought, this is it. This is the thing that I can do as my hobby. And the bug got me and I was like, yeah, I want to be a pro gamer.
It used to be players putting together teams and doing things their own way and keeping the prize money and doing it and putting time into it because they loved it.
Back then, it was very much a kind of a niche community.
Oh my God. Probably just interrupted a major tournament there and cost someone a win, not a problem.
If you won £50 in an I-Series in a tournament, you'd be really happy and that might pay for your entry fee.
It was more about the prestige and the merit of you winning a tournament.
This is what LAN's all about. I love this.
For I-Series, like the first LAN I went to there was in Newbury Racecourse. So it was like staying on a floor in the racecourse in the grandstand. It was just...
You had your keyboard, you had a little bit room for your mouse, and if you were kind of one of these reaction players that would flick their wrist, you would always annoy the person next to you. But you did what you could because you believed that you were kind of part of this, almost like an underground scene where you just did everything you could to be a part of it.
And after about 3 years, I worked out, this isn't going to make me money. So I started a team, and that became Team Dignitas. We beat everyone, went unbeaten for like 19 months, which just doesn't happen in esports.
And welcome to the Big Get Real interview. Joining me is ODEE, the Managing Director of Team Dignitas, one of the teams that are going to be fighting for a place in the grand final. ODEE, first of all, tell us a little bit about...
And then that's when the light bulb switched on, when we were even approached by that first sponsor, which was 8-Bit Computers from Taiwan. They offered us 12 grand to stick a logo on our shirt, and we were like, what the hell, really?
And then, as these tournaments became more popular, and as it became about an audience as well as the people competing, suddenly there was money not only to be won, but money to be made, and then CGS comes along.
CGS, the Championship Gaming Series, which had been adopted by Sky TV, and all these big sponsors are involved, and they got loads of money, and the prize pool's like in the hundreds of thousands.
And yeah, then 18 months of like, whoa.
I guess a competition that was kind of esports as we know it today, but also like a game show. Like they've got MTV star presenters. It's in a big flashy studio in America.
Players are getting paid really good money.
And there's even a draft system because that's the American way of doing things.
And that's why I used all my Dignitas managers at the time with all of our skills to pick a team that would win. And it paid off. It's actually hard to remember anything apart from I can see the studio in my head.
Birmingham, are you ready?
Yeah.
San Francisco, are you ready? Ready, set, begin the match.
Well, Fatality, Counter-Strike Source is up, a lot of points to be won.
I always remember Mark Mangiacapra standing looking at the other team saying, in your face, because I told him the whole game I wanted him to wind them up the whole game. When I listen back at the video, you can hear my voice the loudest.
One more round and the Salvo will be your world champions of 2008.
Big task ahead of Fatality. He goes in, you hear some grenades going off. 18 seconds left. Cloud finds the first one from behind. He takes out.
Yes!
Salvo wins!
I said, Mark, we've won. You don't have to do it anymore. Mouse pad framed, all the dig ones. One of a fan made that once. That's pretty cool. I always kept that out of a coat hanger. So the team and me, biggest checkout one.
CGS was meant to be leading the way for esports and getting it in front of your average consumer. And the reality is that it just didn't. It kind of fell flat. It didn't reach the audience that they wanted to reach with it. And I don't think that really at that time, the world was ready, certainly not here in the UK, to accept esports as a thing.
And overnight in 2008, the players woke up one day and found that the website was taken offline. Suddenly, like that, it's all gone. After CGS collapsed, LANs, offline events, they never went away, but there wasn't a means of broadcasting them. And if you can't get your product out there, then how are you going to bring in an audience? How are you going to get new people into the space? And really, the game changer in everything was
Twitch. Twitch changed everything. Instantly, the eyeballs went through the roof for anybody in esports. So tournaments were being watched from every single LAN, and the more eyeballs, the more sponsorship, and more money came into esports. So the income was going up and up and up.
The word I always use is it was magic. You couldn't not get swept along with that.
The salaries went through the roof. For us, it was a bad thing because we couldn't pay for the top players anymore in the games that we were trying to stay the best in. And then one day, 2015, I got an email from the Philadelphia 76ers saying that they've been looking at esports and they'd like to invest and they'd like to see if my team, if they could buy my team.
Which is huge. And it wasn't just huge because it was a basketball team, a traditional sports team. It was also because it was $30 million.
So I had to make that decision. Do I go to the next level, which is what I'd always wanted, or do I carry on struggling? It was an easy decision. Like, I still follow them now. There's still a Dig logo in my office behind you. I can still see it. And I've got the tattoo. Like, this is always going to be with me forever. And when I got the tattoo, I knew, like, if I ever left Dig, like, what would happen. But like I say to most people, it was a quarter of my life. So he's always there.
We'd had evolutions in esports, like Twitch. Games like League of Legends had come out, which kind of captivated a whole other world of esports fans as well. And I kind of realized that internationally, esports was blowing up. But here in the UK, for whatever reason, it was kind of still stagnant. The only team that had any success was Dignitas. And for me, they left a huge gap in the market for someone to come along and be that next British powerhouse. And so I'd recently got married and I kind of decided, well, actually, I want to build an organization again because I want to be able to fill that gap that Dignitas left behind. And so that really was the start of the journey. The goal of EndPoint has always been to represent British talent within esports. We recently qualified for a Pro League in Counter-Strike, which is huge for us. No other UK team has ever made it there before. And we want to kind of set up a base here in the UK. Being based in Sheffield is that we want to open our doors to the local region and kind of give people the opportunity to come in and see how we operate and, you know, come and spend some time with our players and our support staff and really educate the wider region of what esports is and what it's like to be a professional player and how you can really make a living here.
For UK esports, the future is extremely bright. The UK teams at the moment are actually talking to each other more than they ever used to. If they all work together and build the UK scene, it will be better for all. So that's what I'd say to them.
Let's try and nurture British talent. Let's try and get another UK powerhouse that people can follow and cheer. Let's try and retain a British identity, and let's really put the UK back on the map.